Good morning, everyone. My name is Jada Jackson, and I'm a high school junior at Bishop O'Dowd High School. Today, I will be singing the song Lift Every Voice and Sing. In the future, I aspire to get my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and computer science from Hampton University. Thank you. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Now I'd like to introduce my fellow classmates, Ababakar Kuyate and Morgan Smith.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Morgan Smith. I'm a current junior at Bishop O'Dowd, and I aspire to attend an HBCU and major in kinesiology.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ababakar Kuyate. I'm currently a junior at Bishop O'Dowd High School. I'm still looking for what colleges I want to go to. I want to go into performing arts and history.
The dance we will be presenting today is called Manjani. Can everybody say Manjani?
Manjani.
Manjani is commonly a dance used in ceremonies, specifically to honor the transition of young girls into womanhood. So Manjani also has a call and response. So I will say, Manjani le li le, and you respond, Manjani. Manjani le li le. Manjani le li le. Manjani, 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 le li le. Manjani le li le. Manjani le li le. Manjani, 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 le li le. Thank you.
Now, can you do me a favor? Can you put your hands together and give these young people a round of applause? doing an amazing job. Thank you very much. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Mike Gibson. I serve as a State Assembly member. I represent the 65th California State Assembly District. I want to say thank you very much for joining us this morning at this press conference with each and every one of you. As we celebrate Black History Month, a time to dedicate and honor the rich contributions and a profound achievement of African Americans through our nation's history. Black history serves as a vital reminder of the struggles and the triumph and has shaped this nation and our society. We reflect on the legacies, the trailblazers like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who believed in the power of education, transformed the lives of our community. His dream of just and equitable society continues to inspire our today. Education is the cornerstone of empowerment. By engaging in African American history into our curriculum, not only do we acknowledge the past, but also informs our future. The introduction of the AP African American study course is a major step in strengthening and inclusion in our community. These courses provide students with the comprehensive understanding of African American culture, history, and the contributions that African Americans have played vital role in our country and also in the state of California. Expanding access to these courses in African American studies are essential to increasing inclusion and also the environment for education in our community. It is our responsibility to ensure that all students have an opportunity to learn about the diversity. I said learn about the diversity, not only in our state, but also in our nation. Black History Month is not to just be celebrated just in February, but it should be celebrated all year round. So I urge educators, parents, and our community leaders to support initiatives that promote African American history in our schools throughout the state of California and also our land. In closing, Dr. King said, the time is always right to do what is right. And today, we do what's right to elevate AP African American Studies. What a befitting way to do that, to celebrate and underscore the contributions that we have played in this country. And even though that our rights seem to be under attack, we stand firmly on the belief of those who paved the way. The shoulders we now stand on, we continue to stand on, and we do this unapologetically. And so with these young people here, we know that our future is bright. So let's give them one more round of applause for being here and standing strong and bold. And even though his history is now just being chronicled in the history of the state of California, being the second African-American superintendent that this state has known, someone who's been a trailblazer for education. I'm happy to have served with this gentleman in the California State Legislature. He's a great dad. I just asked him about his two beautiful children and how they're continuing to stand in the tradition of success. So would you please help me welcome California State Superintendent, Mr. Tony Thurman.
Thank you, Brother Assemblymember Gibson. It's an honor to stand with you as we welcome these students and these distinguished faculty here today to have this conversation about AP African American Studies. Assemblymember Gibson is no stranger to this work. He talked about doing the right thing, and he's always doing the right thing, and it's been an honor to work with you on so many fronts. Let's have another round of applause for Assemblymember Mike Gibson. Thank you. Yeah, I can tell you that I can't think of a better way to celebrate Black history than to have this conversation about AP African American Studies, and to do it at a time when there are those who are saying that there should be no discussion about race or racism or about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Never thought that I'd hear anyone in an elected capacity have those words, but what you all are studying and doing takes more urgency as a result. And so I'm grateful for you. And so on behalf of 1,000 school districts and 10,000 schools and almost 6 million students in our system, I'm grateful to represent you. And as a former Assembly member who represented Oakland, I'm very excited to represent these scholars from Bishop O'Dowd. Let's have a round of applause for them and for their distinguished faculty. I want to also thank the College Board for being here today, for the work on AP African American Studies. More than a year ago, I put out a call to those who publish textbooks in our schools to say that they must diversify the images, narratives, and stories that our students see. And most of the publishers, they went running. I had a hearing, and most of them ran. And College Board ran to us and said, here's what we're doing to diversify the images that our diverse students see. The truth of the matter is that African American studies is something that has helped so many find their way. They always tell us that if you don't know where your history is, if you don't know where you come from, it's often hard to know where you're going. And so this is not new, but yet there are those who push back. And what I love about African American Studies as someone who attended a university that was the first to offer a graduate degree in African American Studies at Temple University under the leadership of Dr. Molefi K. Asante, is that we know that when people learn about themselves, we all do better. And the other thing is that inclusive education benefits everyone of all backgrounds. That's why I don't get it. I don't get why people are fighting so hard to suppress. But I'm glad that there are 117 school districts in the state that said, no, we're not going that way. We're going to offer AP African American Studies. And I'm grateful that in this state, when others say don't talk about race or racism or talk about anything that has to do with culture, we've gone the other way. We've passed legislation along with my colleague, Mr. Gibson, AB 1070 that says we don't ban books in the state of California. We talk about race and the impacts of racism and use it as a springboard to make sure that it never happens again. And so I'm grateful for my colleagues. I'm grateful. Right now I'm thinking about my grandparents. My grandparents and I were descendants of slaves who, as part of the migration, voluntary and involuntary, ended up in places like San Andres, Colombia. You know, it took me, like many of my friends who never had an African American studies until they got to college, it took me to become an adult to understand that my grandmother, who was born in San Andres, Colombia, was, part of that diaspora. And I know that this course teaches about the African diaspora. It teaches about history. But when you look at what the skill set that the course strives to help students achieve, it's more than that. It's teaching critical thinking. It's saying that when you make an argument, you better defend your argument. And so, I'm perplexed at those who would try and keep our students from learning about these great things. And all I can think of is that it's like any other time when they didn't want you, when it was illegal to teach a slave to read, when they didn't want you to know your history. If someone wants you to be without access to something that is so helpful, you have to question the motives of those individuals and say, no, we're going the other way. We will press on. And so congratulations to our scholars, to their distinguished faculty, to the College Board, and to California that in this moment, when folks are going in the wrong direction, we're moving forward together in the right direction with AP African American Studies and creating great scholars for the future. Thank you for supporting these students. Let's give them another round of applause. And now, I'm excited that we have Tony Green here from Bishop O'Dowd, and also a pleasure now to introduce Dr. Donald Singleton, who is the AP African American Studies teacher at Dorsey High School. Please welcome him as he comes.
Welcome. My name is Donald Singleton, a 32-year teacher at Susan Miller Dorsey High School. I want to thank Mr. Gibson and Mr. Thurman. Honored you for many, many years. And kind of mad at you because you stole my speech, but
Give it anyway.
Imagine a course that doesn't teach history, but transforms the way people see the world. That's AP African American Studies. The benefits are profound. As Mr. Thurman said, it equips students with critical thinking skills by having them to examine intersectionality, resistance, resilience, having them study Ida B. Wells, the change maker, but she fought not only against racial violence, but also against gender inequality, showing that there's an interconnection when there's struggles of justice. Also, young people have to learn how to make choices by examining their past. We don't only think about what we're doing now, but we go back to the African diaspora, from the Swahili coast, from Somalia to Mozambique, where the traders for centuries prior to the transatlantic slave trade thrived. Africa was never an isolated place. It was a global powerhouse long before the colonization. We have to realize that our young people are learning skills in the classroom that they can take out into the world. I was looking at the Super Bowl as you were, and I saw one of my former students, DJ Mustard, speaking. He loved class. He loved to communicate. Kendrick Lamar from my hometown of Compton talked about how it's important that there's a global watch over what we do. I want to congratulate the College Board for bringing this course, but I want to impress upon you the need to invest into our young people. What happens is an investment in our students and making sure that they're included in this world society opens doors for everyone. There's no better investment in our students and in our future. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. And Aquaba. So Aquaba is the greeting that we use when we open up our class every day. And the College Board, along with UC Davis, had invited me to travel to Ghana to do a presentation along with Dr. Brandy Waters, who's in charge of AP African American Studies through the College Board. And one of the things we learned about is we learned about this universal greeting, Aquaba. It means we are here for a reason, right? So this is no chance that we're here, okay, especially in the state of California, a state that's named after Queen Calafia, right? A Moorish queen, a legendary Moorish queen, right? And just like Brother Dr. Donald Singleton said, you know, our history travels through the roots of the country, right? Pre-colonial times. So when the Spanish first came here, in honor of Queen Calafia, this legendary queen, they named the state after her, all right? As far as African American studies and the importance, humans came out of Africa about 250,000 years ago, right? So we all share a same common genetic line, all right? It's called mitochondrial DNA, right? And that original human has been called mitochondrial Eve, and it passes through the lines of the women. So all women in here share that same common DNA, and it's been passed through the entire population of the state. So African American studies is important for a number of different reasons. Marcus Mosiah Garvey says, a people without a history is like a tree without roots. And since we are all genetically tied to Africa, unless we learn the proper history of who we are as people, irregardless of skin color, right? There's a lot to be left on the table that we don't understand. And what African American studies does is it teaches the proper story of who we are as people, and secondarily, who we are as Americans, all right? I love my students. They did a great job. Okay, I'm very proud of them, and they set a real good foundation for the rest of the day. Okay, Aquaba, and thank you. I'm sorry, I sort of froze up there. So if you look at Morgan and Ababakar, okay, what they did is they completed Unit 1. Unit 1 is in Africa. Okay, we've got 3 more units to actually complete of the curriculum. The second unit is going to be Braylon and Yomi, and they're going to talk about, is it Braylon and Yomi?
First, you're going to introduce London.
Who's that?
London is going to speak first.
Oh, excuse me. I got ahead of myself. So what London is going to do is London is going to represent, and Myler are going to represent, the class in this interview. All right.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is London Walker. I'm currently a junior at Bishop O'Dowd. In my school, I am the lead closing attorney of our mock trial team, the secretary of our school's law club. Outside of school, I'm a bit of a law fanatic. I watch a lot of Columbo and Matlock, but I also do a lot of internships. I've worked with the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, the San Francisco Public Defender's Office, and various other places. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've personally learned being a part of the AP African American Studies course. I am in this course actively studying every day for our tests and exams. But it's a lot more than just a class. So you've heard various people talk about what else you can learn from AP African American Studies, but it's important to remember that AP African American Studies is not just an ethnic studies class. It's a STEM class, it's an English class, it's a history class, it's a music class, it's about culture, it's about connection, and it's about making change. So in class, we learn about various change makers that maybe haven't been highlighted in some of our other classes. It's about making up for spaces in our science classes where maybe I don't hear about people that look like me that have made extremely large changes to the way that we learn about science. And one way that I have identified those changes is really through law. I'm someone who's very interested in the legal field, especially in criminal justice. And one thing that we frequently talk about is different cases that have made an effect on the way that we learn, on the way that we speak, and on the way that we interact. But the important thing to remember is these cases don't just start with the Supreme Court or with a lawyer. They start with people who disagreed with the systems that they were in, and the underlying issues, whether it's racism, whether it's sexism, or whether it's other isms that affect our everyday life, are talked about in AP African American Studies. So these underlying issues that play a large part in our everyday lives are taught to teenagers in these classes so that they can make educated decisions as they continue to move forward in their lives. I personally have learned more in this class than I think I've learned in any other, working with Mr. Green, who's been an exceptional teacher at Bishop O'Dowd for such a long time. We're so lucky to have him. But we learn more than just history. We learn about who we are, who our ancestors were, and how the prayers that they prayed for people who look like me are the reason why what I'm doing right now is so exceptional. Exceptional. People like my great-grandparents prayed for me to be able to be in this opportunity, speaking to people like you about what I learned and about what they wanted me to learn. So I encourage you to look over the curriculum of AP African American Studies if you can't take it now. I want to give a big thank you to Mr. Green, who's done so much for our school, and the rest of my colleagues that are here. And I want to introduce my close friend and my fellow student, Myla Smith. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Myla Smith, and I'm a current junior at Bishop O'Dowd. As a leadership role, I have actually created my own club called Sisters of Success, which focuses on fostering community amongst the Black girls on campus. We do lots of service work. We have women who are making impactful moves in our community come and speak with us. We do lots of engaging activities to really uplift our students and foster a great community amongst the girls on campus. In addition to this, I'm on the Executive Council for the Black Student Union and a member of the Ubuntu Executive Board. Ubuntu means I am who I am because of who we all are. And the board focuses on bringing equity and diversity amongst all students on campus. Outside of school, I'm a tutor at Kumon, and I love spending time working with the youth in my community. So I've done service work at Ile Omide, a private African-enriched school in my community, as well as a program at College Prep School called the Partners Program. Today, I really wanted to focus on the importance of African American studies, as I feel the course is very uplifting as a member of my community. In our times now in society, even though we have made strides with racism and sexism, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And through this course, I've been able to truly find who I am as a person and really ground myself. As Mr. Green mentioned, we learned about mitochondrial Eve, which is a woman that stems from Africa many, many years ago. And it's the theory that we all come from one place. So I feel like there's always a focus on separating us through our race, where we come from, our genders, height, abilities, body types. But really, I feel like there needs to be a focus more on unity amongst our community, more closely and nationwide, and this course does a great job uniting people. Some people might feel that the course only focuses on Black culture, so it could only be beneficial to students of a Black background, but I feel that this course is really applicable to students of all backgrounds. For example, I'm able to uplift my students in my club, Sisters of Success, because in one of our units in African American Studies, we learned about the Dahomey tribe, which was in Benin, Africa, and they're an ancient tribe that was solely women, and they dominated all other tribes in their region, fighting strictly with their bodies and own strength. And it's just really empowering as a young lady in my community to know that there are people and my ancestors who are very, very capable, and that I'm in this position right now and have the ability to do the same. So I really suggest looking into the course. It's a great opportunity for all students to learn about their heritage and to create better change for our future. Thank you so much.
Quick break so that the superintendent can get a picture and the assembly member can get a picture with the students. I know you specially requested that. So why don't you come out, superintendent and students and teachers, come on up. We're going to take a photo with the assembly member and the superintendent. And then after that, Mr. Green will do the student presentations. All right,
Great job. Great job. Great job. All right, who's the organizer here?
I have no idea where to look for this picture.
I know.
I feel like you guys should do a call and repeat.